All right, so everyone, welcome to chapter one of college algebra. And chapter one, we are going through equations and inequalities. And in section 1.3, which we shall be covering today, is on models and applications. So we can start off with the first example. So before we move on to the first example, let's review a few things that we have to take note of when we are trying to solve questions that involve models and also their applications. So the first thing is we have to read the question carefully. We should understand, if necessary, we should write down the expressions of all the unknown quantities in the problem in terms of x, and write an equation in X that models the verbal conditions. So it's not, the X is just a variable, and you could easily also represent X by any other variable. For example, let's move on to the first example. So the first example, it says the median yearly before tax income of a full-time worker with a bachelor's degree exceeds that of a full-time worker with an associate's degree by $15,000. The median yearly before tax income of a full-time worker with a master's degree exceeds that of a full-time worker with an associate's degree by $30,000. And combined, three full-time workers each with each of these educational attainments and 195,000 before taxes. Find the median yearly tax income of full-time workers with each of these levels of education. So what we've been given here, we've been given the yearly before tax income of someone with a bachelor's degree, the before tax income of someone with a master's degree, and we've also been told that the bachelor's plus the master's plus the associate's degree adds up, the yearly income of all these three adds up to about 195,000. All right, so we've been asked to find the yearly income for each one of them. So let us try to go to our board, and let me share my board, and let's try to see if we can solve this with a piece of information that has been provided. All right, so we are told that a bachelor's degree, bachelor's degree which indicating by, I'm letting B to stand for it. B is equal to associate's degree A is equal to the yearly income of an associate's degree holder, which is A plus $15,000. Someone with a bachelor's degree makes $15,000 more than someone with an associate's degree. And then there's someone with a master's degree someone with a master's degree, which I'm letting M to stand for a master's degree, makes about $30,000 more than associate's degree. So A, the associate's degree plus $30,000 more. Okay, and we are also told that The yearly income of all three, an associate's degree holder, a bachelor's degree holder, and a master's degree holder, is equal to $195,000. And we have to find the income for each one of these. All right. Since we know what B equals, we know from here that B, a bachelor's degree, is equal to A plus 15,000. And we also know that M is equal to A plus 30,000. So we can substitute B and M into this equation here. We call this third equation here. And from there, we would be able to find the income of an associate's degree holder. So this becomes A plus B, and B is A plus 15,000 plus M, and M is A plus 30,000. And we know this equals to 195,000. So A plus A plus A is 3A. 15,000 plus 30,000 is 45,000. So 3A plus 45,000 is equal to 195,000. So if you subtract 45,000 on both sides, then we get 3A is equal to 150,000. And if we divide both sides by 3, then we have an associate's degree holder makes about $50,000 a year. All right, and we know that a bachelor's degree holder makes $15,000 more than an associate's degree holder. So bachelor's degree holder is associate's degree plus $15,000 more. So this gives us associate's degree holder, which is 50,000 plus 15,000 more. So bachelor's degree holder makes about $65,000 a year. And we are also told the master's degree holder makes $30,000 more than an associate's degree holder. So that is A plus 30,000. So this is 50,000 plus 30,000. And this equals to $80,000 a year. All right, so to check that whether our solution is correct or wrong, if we add the incomes of all three, we should get 195,000. That is one of the information that was presented in the problem. So A plus B plus C should give us 195,000. So A plus B plus M should give us 195,000. And that will be a check that our solution is correct. So A is 50,000. B is 65,000. And M is 80,000. So if we add these three up, we see that we get $195,000. So that tells us our solution is correct. All right, so let's move on to the next example. Let me share my slide again. All right, so let's move on to the next example. So the next example, it says you drive to a toll plaza and find booths with attendants where you can pay the toll by cash or credit. With this option, so the option one is to pay by cash or credit, and with this option, you pay $5 each time you cross the bridge. Then the attendance gives you another option, so option two, where you can buy a barcoded decal for $25. And with the purchase of 25 decal for $25, you get a 25% off the normal toll of $5 for each person. Find the number of times that you will need to cross the bridge for the cost of the two to be the same. All right, so let's pick this piece of information and go back to our blackboard and try to and try to and try to solve this. Okay, let's go to our board. All right, so we are given two options. Option one. So first of all, let me write down example 3. So we have two options. Option one, which is pay $5 every time with a credit card, every time you pass with a credit card. Every time you pass. And option two is to buy a decal for $25. And then get a 25% discount each time. Each time that you pass. All right. All right. So let's let the number of times that you pass the tool be X. So if we say let X be the number of times you pass the tool, let X be the number of times you pass the tool or the number of trips you make past the tool. All right. So the option one, each time you pass the toll, you are charged $5. So the total cost with option one is 5x. Each time you are charged $5. And so if you make X number of trips, then your total cost using option one is 5x. And with option B, uh, we are told that you pay $25 upfront, and each time that you pass, you are giving a 25% discount off the $5. So 25% discount off the $5 means 25% off the $5 discount will mean you would be paying $3.75 each time that you make a pass, right? So 25% of $5 is equal to 0.25 times $5, and that is 1.25. So each time that you pass, you get $1.25 off the cost of $5. So that means what you are paying is $3.75. So $5 minus $1.25. This is $3.75. All right. So with option 2, you pay $25 upfront, and for each trip, you are paying $3.75. So if you make X number of trips, your total cost is 3.75 X. Your total cost is $25 plus 3.75x. And with option 1, your total cost is 5x. And now we are told to find at what point these two equal each other. So at what point is option 1 equal to option 2? All right, so at what point is 5x equal to 25 plus 3.75x? All right, so if we subtract 3.75x on both sides, then we get 1.25x is equal to 25. And if we divide both sides by 1.25x, 1.25 rather, if we divide both sides by 1.25, then we see that x is equal to 70. X is equal to 70. So that means for option 1, which is 5x, at that point, option 1, which is 5x, it means the amount to be paying before option 1 equals to option 2 is 5x. So 5 times 70, which is $350. And option 2 is $25 plus 3.75x, and x is 70. So 25 plus 3.75x, which is 70. So if we multiply 3.75 by x, and we add to that also to 25, we will see that we should get 350, just like the first one. So that $350 is the amount that both options will be equal to each other. So that tells us that at the point where the option one will cost, the cost incurred in option one will be equal to option two, that would be um, $350. Let me see. Let me check this again. 25. Let me check this again. 25 divided by 1.25. Oh, okay, yeah, so I made a mistake here. This is actually equal to 20, not 70. So this is 20, not 7. So I made a mistake here. So if I come here, let me make a correction here. So this is not 70, this is 20. This is 20 instead. And this equals to 100, not 350. So this is equal to 100. And option 2, so this equals to, let me change this to 20 instead of the 70 that I mistakenly wrote. So this is 20. And so if we add this up, then we should also get $100. If we add up 25 plus 3.75 times 20, it should give us 100, just like the first instance. So yeah, so this is how we solve this third example. So let's move on to another example. Let me share my slide again and let's look at another example. All right, so example 4 says after a 30% price reduction, you purchase a new laptop for $840. What was the laptop's price before the reduction? All right, so let's go to our board and let's see. So after 30% reduction, you purchase a laptop for 840. So what was the original price before the reduction? So let me stop sharing. Let me share my board again. All right, so let me try to share my board again. And let's try to go through this example. All right, so we are told that you purchase a laptop for $840 after a 30% reduction in the original price. So what was the original price? So if we say so this is example 4. So if we let X be the original price, let X be the original price before the discount. Let X be the original price before the discount. So after the reduction, after 30% discount, so if X is the original price, after the 30% discount, you are paying, so X minus 0.3 of the original price X. So what you are paying represents 0.7 or 70% of the original price. So if you want to find the original price, we have 0.7x is equal to 840. And if we divide both sides by 0.7, then we get x should be equal to 1200. So the original price of the laptop was 1200. And after 30% discount, you paid 840 for it. So we can check whether this answer is right or not. Let's find 30% of 1200. And whatever we get, if we subtract from 1200, we should get 840. So 30% of 1200 equal to 30 divided by 100 times 1200. So this equals to $360, right? And so 1200 minus 360 gives us 840. So that is how we check whether our answer is correct or wrong. All right, so let's move on to, let me stop share. Let me share my slide back again. And let's go to the next example. All right, so this is example 4. Let's look at another example. So example 5, it says, so example 5 is also an application problem where we have to try to figure out. All right, so it says you inherited $50,000 with a stipulation that for the first year, the money had to be invested in two accounts, paying 0.9% and 1.1% annual interest. How much did you invest at each rate if the total interest earned for the year was $515? All right, so you receive a $50,000 inheritance, and the stipulation is that you must invest it in two accounts, one with interest rate of 0.9% and the other with interest rate of 1.1%. And how much did you have to invest in the two different investment options if your total interest and for the year is 515%? All right. So let's try to write some few things down and try to solve this. Again, let me go back to my blackboard. Let me stop sharing and let me share my blackboard again. All right, so we have two investment options. So let's assume let X be the amount of money you invest in the 0.9 interest option. So let X be the amount you invest in that. The amount you invest in this option. And for the other option that gives you 1.1% interest, let's say let Y be the amount you invest in this option. All right, and we are told that the interest, um, the interest that you gain in option 1 is 0.9%, interest you gain in option 2, 1.1%. All right, and you have 50,000 in total. So the amount you invest in option 1 and the amount you invest in option 1 and the amount you invest in option 2 should add up to 50,000. So X plus Y is equal to 50,000. And also in terms of the amount you gain in interest, the 0.9%, 0.9% is the same as 0.009. So the 0.9% is the same as 0.009. And if you invested X amount, the interest you gain is 0.009 times X, and plus the 1.1% account. 1.1% is 1.1 divided by 100, which is 0.011. And you invested X amount in it. The amount you gain is 0.011 times Y. If you invested amount Y in it, what you gain is 0.011Y. And we are told this equal to 515. The sum of the investment interest that you gained in monetary terms or in amount is $515. So we have two equations now that we have to solve for X and Y. So from this first equation, we can see that Y is equal to 50,000 minus X. So if we substitute this into equation 2, we have 0.009X plus 0.011 times 50,000 minus X, and this equals to 515. So this is 0.009X plus 0.11 times 50,000, which gives us 550 minus 0.011 times X, 0.011X, and this equals to 515. Okay, and so if we subtract this if we add these two, we get, you go to the next page, we get negative 0.002X, and this equals to 515 minus 550, which is negative 35. All right, and if we divide both sides by negative 0.002, and then we get x is equal to 17,500. And we know that x is the amount you invested in the 0.9% account. So the amount we invested in the 0.9% account is 17,500. And we know that y is equal to 50,000 minus x. So that is 50,000 minus 17,500. So this gives us 32,500. So the amount that you also invested in the second option, which has interest rate of 1.1%, is 32,500. All right, so let's go back to the slide and let's look at the next example. All right, so example 6, it says the length of a rectangular basketball is 44 feet more than the width. If the perimeter of the basketball is 288 feet, what are the dimensions? All right, so let's go to the blackboard again and try to walk through this example. All right, so we are told we have a rectangular field, football field. We are told that the length is uh, 44 feet more than the width. So that means the length L, if we let L be the length and W be the width, then the length L is equal to 44 feet more than the width. All right, and we are also told that the perimeter of the field is 288. So the perimeter is the length plus the length of all the sides, all the four sides. So length plus the width plus the width is equal to 288. So 2L plus 2W is equal to 288. And we know that L is equal to 44 plus the width. So if we substitute this in place of L, then we have 2 times 44 plus W plus 2W is equal to 288. All right, so 2 times 44 is 88. 2 times W is 2W, and plus 2W is equal to 288. All right, so 88 plus 4W is equal to 288. So let's subtract 88 from both sides. So that gives us 4W is equal to 200. And if we divide both sides by 4, then we get W is equal to 50. So if W is equal to 50, um, we know that L is equal to 44 plus W. So that equals to 44 plus 50. So it's equal to 94. So the length is 94 feet and the width is 50 feet. And so that's example 6. All right, let's move on to the next example, example 7. Let me share my slide back again. All right, so example 7. Okay, so example 7 entails uh, solving a formula for a variable. Solving a formula for a variable. So we are given P is equal to 2L plus 2W, and we have to solve for W. So let's see how we go about this. So we are given P. So this is, let me first write down, this is example 7. We are given P is equal to 2L plus 2W. And we have to solve for W. To solve for W. All right, so the first thing that we do is to subtract 2L on both sides. So P minus 2L is equal to 2W. And what we need is the W, but it has a 2 multiplied by 8. So we divide both sides by 2. And then we get W is equal to P minus 2L over 2. All right, so this is how we solve for W. So let's look at another example. Let's look at another example. Let's say we have another example where we solve for a variable. So let's call this example 8. So in the example 8, let's say we have P is equal to C plus MC. And we have to solve for C. We have to solve for C. All right, so P is equal to C plus MC. So C is common to M, and is common, C is common to this term, and it's also common to this term. So since we want the C by itself, the first thing is we have to factor out C. So P is equal to C and parentheses. If we factor C out of C, we have a remainder of 1 here, plus if we factor C out of MC, we have a remainder of M here. All right. So once we factor out C, we want the C to be by itself, but it's being multiplied by 1 plus M. So we divide both sides by 1 plus M. And so that gives us C is equal to P divided by 1 plus M. All right, so let's look at the last example. So we call this example 9. If we have D is equal to T divided by C minus B, we have to solve for C. All right, so this is like a kind of a rational expression. So similarly, what we do is to multiply through by the LCM. So D is the same as D divided by 1. So the LCM of 1 and C minus V is C minus V. So what we do is to multiply both sides by c minus b. So c minus b times d is equal to t divided by c minus b times c minus b. All right, so this c minus b divided by c minus b. So we have t is equal to d times c minus b. And if we expand this, we have t is equal to d times c and d times minus d times v. So this is equal to dv. And what we are solving for is the c. So we can add dv on both sides. So t plus dv is equal to dc. And if we divide both sides by d, then we have c is equal to t plus dv divided by d. All right, so this is what we get for solving for c. So this brings us to the end of this section 1.3, and I'll see you in 1.4.